Sure.
3, 2, 1. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 725. I am Brian Kilby. With me this week, we have Matt yawning.
Hello.
We speculated that in pre-show that you've started sleeping during pre-show before you show up, which makes you smarter than everybody else.
I try to sneak in like an hour or so of sleep a little earlier, but not directly before the pre-show.
I used to sleep before the pre-show years ago, and I miss doing that. I need to figure that out. We also have Chris. Chris is here.
Hello.
Who was out last week because he didn't want to be part of the NFT conversation.
I was the smart one last week.
I do want to say, if you're somebody who watches the show live or on YouTube,
we're sorry.
YouTube is really for live streams. I don't really use YouTube for anything else other than live streams. If you want to go back and watch something, do it at our website, tfradio.net. Because I don't edit the podcast heavily, but it was a complicated topic, and I was heavily medicated last week. Well, I'm not saying that as a crutch but it's the truth. I was heavily medicated. It was not a great week to talk about a complicated topic like NFTs. But I think when in the edit, everything came across pretty clearly and actually sounded pretty good. I went back and listened to it a couple times to make sure that it made sense. But the live stream version of it, no, please don't, no, nope. Chris dodged a bullet with that one.
I knew what was going to happen. I specifically left the NFT stuff out of the news desk I posted before the show last week because it's just too complicated of a topic to engage with in short form and without drastic preparation for a podcast.
Oh yeah, and there was no preparation. And Scotty from Twincast had pointed out on Twitter that Brian Golden, the CEO of Hasbro, that they're basically investigating the opportunities with that. And that's sort of what I assumed, but I didn't know for a fact that's what it was, because honestly, I just didn't go back and look before.
Yeah, and I think you were on the right track with one of the things you were saying during the live discussion last week. Like, their investors have heard, the NFT buzzword stuff and came at them with it probably. And just as a way to satisfy them, yeah, we're forming an investigation committee on that. And, we'll see what their findings are the next time we convene, etc. And then probably nothing will actually ever come of it.
Yeah, I mean, if they're like any other company, instead of really doing a lot of that stuff internally, now that I'm more clear-headed, I'll say this: they're probably paying a consultant to tell them what to do.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about other things.
Hey, Don.
Please.
Hi. Rob.
Hello.
John.
Yo.
I noticed someone's not here.
Diecast isn't here. Diecast has refused to participate in the podcast until he receives his Unicrons.
So we'll see him just shy of never?
Yeah, well, maybe. So
reminder plural.
Brian, he currently has an estimated delivery date of Friday.
So
that doesn't mean FedEx is actually going to deliver them.
Hey, Brian, I'm going to say the one thing that I know from a Avengers meme.
What?
Don't give me hope.
Oh, hey, actually, since you guys are the right audience for this, FedEx had a delivery for me today. So this weekend is Mother's Day weekend. For Kim and the family, I had some Giordano's shipped in. So,
yep. Nice.
You are a good family man, Mr. Kilby.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that came in today. In refrigerated boxes. It was still very cold, not quite frozen, but it's fine. I threw it in the deep freezer; it'll be fine. So
yeah, totally.
Cool. Okay. Don, have you looked at the show notes?
Oh boy.
No, I have not. I'm trying to keep as few windows open as possible, Brian.
Okay, so I'm not jumping to the news yet. I'll let you know. I'll say news when we jump to the news.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just was a little excited last week.
Don.
I come off a long couple of days at work. I'm excited about something.
Oh, you're not excited about anything that popped up this week.
No, I'm trying not to be overly excited because I'm tired.
Don't want to use up that energy. You're like an alpha male lion. Everybody knows that you're the boss, but you don't want to like burn up too much energy actually like getting excited.
So I'm Razor Claw.
Yeah, there you go. Or
Okay.
I mean, look at that luxurious, thick, full, beautiful mane he has.
Yeah, I was thinking like Lio Jr. But yeah.
I tell you what, I'll take being Bantor. I'll settle for being
Bantor.
Bantor.
Hey, so people are always, John talks about a lot of the stuff that he gets on eBay, and people are interested in what we collect. And a couple things popped up this week on eBay. One, John had shared, and I'll let John share that, and something that I had actually bid on. What John had shared, one, made me sad for two reasons. One, it was a lot of money. Two, it's like totally in my wheelhouse, and I would have totally bid on it too.
Yeah, I saved your marriage. Thank you very much. And you never know, it might pop up again. So what Brian's talking about is, I believe this is a first print. This is the first edition sleeve, the first release of Transformers the movie 1986. A sealed, still in the shrink wrap specimen of that VHS was on eBay within the last week, and in incredible shape for all things considering. Again, this is a VHS tape with a paper stock sleeve, shrink wrapped. It's decades old, and it's in relatively pristine shape, absolutely pristine shape. I couldn't even believe what I was looking at. My mind, it took me days to accept like this could be real. Because it just doesn't make sense that something would survive multiple decades and be in that shape.
Of course, that's real.
I know it's real, but it's like in my head, it's like that. What? Huh? So it went for over $400. I think it went for $430 to be exact, plus like $10 shipping. And so I mean, these things still exist. I don't know how many in the world would like fit the C95, C98, probably C95.
C10 case fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like crazy and sealed, unbelievable. But yeah, this is definitely something that Brian would have talked himself into.
Oh, I would have been in contention for it. So the thing is, that's within spitting distance of what I paid for my sealed copy of the Hill Crane laser disc of Transformers the movie from Japan. And I don't know that there are many, if any, other sealed copies of that out there. But you got to imagine this VHS edition, as many copies were made, there are other sealed editions out there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would think there's like a case or some kind of like, warehouse find at some point, not recently, but in the last 30 years. So there's probably a few. It's always a question though, is if they hit the market, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a house. It's like the housing market. There are no houses for sale. So, I mean, they probably exist. It's just a question of like, well, you would think if somebody has one and they saw this auction that, the gears are turning in their head. So you might have a shot yet, Brian.
Yeah. If I saw that pop back up, I would be very tempted to bid on it. So something similar though that I had bid on. So everybody knows that I've been collecting the St. Louis McDonald's Happy Meal toys from 1985, and they're very rare. There's about 24 to 28 variations of them. The one thing I've got a few sealed, 2 or 3 that are still sealed in the little baggie. The one I don't have though is a Happy Meal box. It was a test run toy, so it was only available really in one market, a set of toys. Those are hard to find. What is even more uncommon are the boxes. And one popped up on eBay a little over a week ago. So I found out about this through a search, but it also got shared on a group that I'm in. And most of the people who are interested in that box actually are in the group that I'm in. So I actually know at least one of the other folks that were bidding on this box. So the box, one side of it was Transformers, the other side was My Little Pony, which tells me that there are My Little Pony toys out there that were also part of the test market at the same time, and I'm interested in that. But the rarity of this is pretty insane. Way less than what you would ever find with the VHS of Transformers the movie. One other collector of these toys pointed out that he'd only ever come across 2 in his entire collecting life. And, there's speculation that I totally bought into that this thing would probably go for over $1,000. And I was not willing to go that high. But I did bid it up to $656.
Matt's face, man. Matt's face.
Yeah. Yeah. So part of the reason was I, got a little excited in bidding against somebody that I know in real time, not knowing at the time it was him. And 2, at that point, eBay goes up by increments of $10. So the person who outbid me would have outbid me at $666, and I just thought that was cool. So that was my max bid. The thing sold for $676.
Oh, so close.
So the thing is, what happened is, I think it was Crazy Steve, who's in the same group, our friend Crazy Steve, had found where a lot of these had actually sold in the last year or so, a lot of 6, which says that there's probably like 3 times as many of these as at least 3 times as many of these as we expected. So basically 99% of the people who would be interested in this item are in that group and actually saw that. So fortunately I was outbid at the last minute, probably by somebody who's not in that group. So yeah. I dodged a bullet there, but if I had bought it, I actually did buy the frame for it already. Yeah. So so the frame came in the process of bidding. I can reuse it for something else, but I bought a frame that fits the thing just on the off chance that I win.
I'm sure you'll find another one and you can use the frame for it still anyway.
Yeah. In another 50 years. So
maybe not.
Yeah. So, so I dodged a bullet with that. So, but yeah, that stuff like that, I would really, just crazy niche things like that, or I think of interest.
So in the realm of antique Transformers ephemera, basically, we've had over $1,000 spent on a shrink-wrapped VHS cassette and a flattened piece of cardboard.
Exactly.
In the last week.
With the cardboard,
Yes.
the cardboard wasn't flattened. It was already
okay,
flat.
it was still flat.
It was still flat.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
No, but still, like, that does not reduce the craziness of
it's crazy
what has happened in the collecting world this past week alone.
Yeah, and I mean, I go back to the baseball card stuff. In the past year, people's willingness to spend money on collectibles, like people, just like the average collector, it's like what people are willing to spend is just ballooned, and it's crazy. So I don't know. Hopefully this will die down, and hopefully I'll be able to buy one of those boxes for like $50 at some point, but probably not that. But hopefully things will become more reasonable now that people are going to be able to go outside and without fear of hopefully dying.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So anybody else have any crazy things they looked at or saw on eBay this week? Not that I want to make this is not like a recurring topic, but this is just something that was top of mind that I wanted to chat about.
Yeah, no, nothing on eBay, but hopefully next week I'll have an interesting, direct collector to collector sale thing to talk about.
That's cool. Okay. Anybody want to talk about anything else before we go to the news? It's Don's favorite segment.
Oh.
Don just can't wait. Like,
Dun, 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 dun. We need like 1930s news music.
Oh no, I have to do that.
I might have somewhere saved the Muppet Newsflash intro.
That'd probably get us kicked off. Can I use off my pad here? What's this sound? Okay, that works. Okay, that sucks. Okay, let's not use that. Okay, so the news. Hey, RSC News Desk 141 Chris posted this yesterday. The title is Leaks, Buzz, BotBots, and Jam. Lots of things had popped up over the last few days, and Chris consolidated them nicely into this news item.
It was a very active weekend.
It
overall.
was. The BotBots Ruckus Rally, though, you really helped crystallize in my mind what that actually is. So it looks like those are going to be like accessories for BotBots.
So do you remember with Bot Shots?
Yes.
Like they eventually had larger sets that came out, which were like launchers for BotBots, and they were Bot Shots, and they were vehicles they could click into. So Starscream came with like a core booster, and there was an Optimus Prime that had a tractor trailer attachment. So I think this is something in kind of a similar vein to that. Like, this is going to be a new price point probably, or it's going to take over the maybe $15 8-pack price point. Now, again, this is all my speculation. We don't have any concrete information on this, but this is the feeling I'm getting from this. So, like, we'll get a vehicle with 1 pack in, and then probably have 5 packs and singles still persist. But the art shows 2 vehicles so far. One of them is like an aircraft or spacecraft thing made out of a game controller. The silhouette of it kind of reminds me of like the Sega Genesis gamepad, which, cool with me. And then the other vehicle is like a race car thing made of a slice of pizza.
That's cool.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to be like the most durable race car around, being, pepperoni wheels and everything, but, certainly enough to get you hungry. But yeah, artwork for this was found through some store's inventory system or whatever. I don't know exactly how this was dug up, but through the same process that a lot of the rest of the stuff probably came out. It's low res, and we don't really know anything about where or when this is going to pop up. Especially the where, I think, is a good question, since last I checked, there was virtually 0 retail support for BotBots anymore.
I only see it at Target, and that's pretty rare.
Yeah, and from what I've heard too, like Target has not exactly been eager to keep that refreshed and up to date either. It's just kind of like whatever they have on hand, and then they don't bother.
For whatever reason, and I don't know why, I think it's not the aesthetic of the toy. It's just I'm nervous. I worry that this is going to just be something that shows up for 30 seconds, then winds up at Five Below. Kind of like the Transformers Angry Birds stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's entirely unreasonable. Maybe not like Five Below, but like shows up for a minute and then is at Ross and Marshall's, and that's just it.
I ended up getting a lot of the bot shots, and I think I actually only saw the Angry Bird stuff at Five Below.
Yeah, hopefully this will be my best hope here is that the vehicle sets will be a new SKU, and it will convince or trick places like Walmart to carry an assortment of BotBots again.
Going back to the stuff that I think we've talked about when it comes to how stuff is distributed, tricking Walmart into carrying the stuff is probably not far off from reality and how some of these things work.
No, and I mean, we've seen Hasbro do exactly that before with the 2010 Generations line, where they recycled the movie SKU over, which is what the stores wanted to carry, and put more generation stuff in it to get twice the amount of classics adjacent toys on shelves at one time, which otherwise the stores never would have agreed to.
This is how my old company used to operate, and I don't think I'm sharing any trade secrets by saying this, but our assortments at the store level, and we had about 2,000 stores, our assortments at the store level, they were so complicated that they really only existed as columns on a spreadsheet. Nobody really knew exactly, knew exactly what each store had or what we were actually buying necessarily. What we were more worried about is just that the dollar figures lined up, that we were spending the amount of money that we were comfortable spending, and we were going to get back in sales what we expected to get back.
Mhm.
So, yes, tricking is kind of accurate, I would say.
I think so.
That's cool. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy one each of these vehicles, and hopefully we'll get like a second wave with some other interesting stuff.
Yeah.
A toilet tank, maybe.
Oh man. Oh, that would be great. Ooh, what would be great is if there was some way you could assemble something kind of like the Rescue Rangers, like Bleach blimp.
Oh yeah.
So, what's all this Target stuff?
It's Target stuff.
Does this have anything to do with like Alabama or anything like
Oh,
that?
okay. So I didn't have the in any of the news coverage because when I went to investigate it, over the weekend, among the other things that popped up was a reference to Transformers Alabama, and it came from a Canadian store listing. I don't know what store specifically. So apparently what that turned out to be is Alabama was the code name for the Takara import Sound Blaster.
Oh, so are we getting that domestically?
No, because the last time we got Canadian store data mining stuff like this,
It just had
included
all sorts of stuff in it, yeah.
right, including like an SDCC set from like 5 years earlier. Like it's a thing, the same kind of thing Amazon does, where they will take UPCs and whatever from every product they can get their hands on and generate their internal codes for it, just in case, it needs to be sold through them. It's databasing basically.
Yeah, it's like it probably exists in GS1 or One World Sync, and
Yeah,
they
something
just
like that.
ingested it and generated their own internal numbers based on it.
If for instance it was like Toys R Us Canada, like probably for their online presence that they have a marketplace function, it would be the same purpose that Amazon would take in that data for and process it into their system. So it's just something like that.
Yeah. Cool.
It's also possible too, because Toys R Us Canada does handle store exclusives that go to other places in the US. Like they might have been positioned at one time to maybe take that on as an exclusive there, but it never materialized, etc. There's various permutations of this, but from what I was able to learn in researching it, Alabama is just that Sound Blaster, and it's not anything new or
When is
suspicious.
that coming out? Anyway, unrelated.
I don't know. I popped over to Hasbro Pulse to look into that, and like it's sold out over there, which I don't know if that's just the pre-order stage or if it actually ever shipped.
It didn't ship.
So someday.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So,
I'd actually forgotten that was a thing until the Alabama thing came up.
So Target has several things, including a new Buzzworthy Bumblebee power charge figure.
That's not even new. So it's with the first batch of Buzzworthy stuff, there was the Mega One-Step Changer Bumblebee, which is a repack of an Age of Extinction big one-step Bumblebee. So this is a repack of the Bumblebee movie Power Charge Bumblebee toy in Buzzworthy packaging. There actually already is a stock image out for that. That's in the news desk post. Like it's a completely unchanged toy from the Bumblebee movie release, and it's just new packaging. But that was, an interesting looking toy, and from the people who bought it, it sounded like it was actually pretty cool. So like it's not the worst thing to see get a second shot on the shelf. I mean, you might still want to wait for it to inevitably go on discount. Yeah. But it was one of those things that I kind of regretted not picking up at the time, but also never cared enough about to go seeking out after the fact. And it will probably remain the same now. So more interesting with the Buzzworthy stuff is a listing we don't really know anything about, which is a Generations Deluxe Origins Bumblebee. So we have no idea what that is. Popular speculation right now might be that it is a retool of the Earthrise Cliffjumper body in such a way that it would resemble the flying saucer car from More Than Meets the Eye.
I'd be fine with that.
which I think would be possible to do with like an acceptable amount of retooling. But I haven't like dug into that concept too much. It's another theory that's been floated around, which also makes some sense, would be an alternate deco version of Bumblebee using the Netflix Volkswagen body shell. But right now, we just don't really know enough of anything about this. Since there's a stock photo of the Power Charge Bumblebee already, and considering the short lead time there was from learning about Buzzworthy in the first place and having that stuff actually show up in stores, probably sooner rather than later, we will have some expanded information on this. So apart from that, there's 3 mystery entries. So these are not connected with any existing known toy line right now. But there's entries for Optimus Prime and Megatron figures, which are $50 each, which implies leader class or something, adjacent to that in parts count and volume. And a $40 figure assortment with no further details.
That's weird.
And that could be literally anything. It could be like a new size class for Cyberverse, for instance. It could be a giant red figure that somehow Target has gotten their hands on to carry.
I hope not.
I mean, it's probably not that because of Red's general exclusivity with Walmart, but it's the possibility of the kind of thing this could be. It could be literally anything.
I never actually considered though a large, not that we're going there, but a large red figure, like where they do like a deluxe version of a Marvel Legends. That's a neat idea.
There was a trademark in the last year or two for a non-transforming Metroplex. And like, it probably is not this specifically, but that seems like something that a jumbo red figure or something like that could fall into potentially. But we're going a little afield here because that's it's nothing to do with any of this. What, Don?
I was going to say, Walmart did have exclusivity for Red, but so they also did for the Defenders of the Earth figures by NECA. I'm wondering if maybe there was a time limit on the Red figures that we just haven't heard about yet. Possibly.
It's also possible too they're exclusive to Walmart because Walmart was the only store willing to say, yeah, we'll carry those. So time limit or not, Target still wouldn't want them. And I don't blame them because I don't want them either. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely there's more questions than answers with these 3 listings here, and it's another hope we'll hear about that kind of soon. The final thing in the Target list is Kingdom Road Rage, which is going to be a Target exclusive. So basically, it's going to have the role that Runabout did in Earthrise. So it'll come out sometime later this year. Fortunately, the entry that exists for this right now does not seem to contain any reference to being a red card exclusive. So small
That's
favors,
something at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's not like, that status can't change at some point along the way either. Red Wing was not initially a red card exclusive, but, after a few hours of being up in general, they flipped the switch on that, and then it was a red card exclusive.
So it's probably not a bad idea to buy this immediately if I see it up and it's not a red card exclusive yet.
Do it.
Yes. Well, and just the way Target exclusives have been going, I don't think it's a bad idea to just grab a pre-order the first moment you can anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally smart.
Yeah. Not that Runabout was really that hard to get from Target's website once it started coming in stock. Like, I believe the pre-orders for that did go quickly, but then once it was in stock, it was not that difficult to actually catch an order.
That went up the same time as Thrust did, if I remember correctly. And Thrust was nearly impossible to get, but Runabout hung around a little bit longer.
Yeah, Runabout was a little bit easier. There's probably more of Runabout than there was Thrust. But, like, just from my own experience, I was able to go in January to Targets around the Nashville area and literally found about 24 Thrusts on store shelves between all the places I visited. So, findability for these exclusives kind of varies given your area and in store versus on the website. So, kind of wish I had bought some of those now because they'd be worth a small fortune. Let's see. I hope you like leaks for stuff that's not coming out for like 8 months because we have Wave 1 of Studio Series 2022. Because, of course, we do. So this is split between Bumblebee movie stuff and Studio Series 86. So on the Bumblebee movie side, we have Deluxe's Brawn, Wheeljack, and Ratchet, which are all from the Cybertron scene at the start of the movie.
I need to go back and remember. I don't remember what Brawn looked like.
Brawn.
Okay.
It was a humanoid shape in Brawn colors and kind of like a dome head.
Okay.
I say it was a humanoid shape because, the Cybertron scene was created so late in the production cycle for that they didn't really have time to do, detailed specific models per character. So there was a lot of recycled assets between them. And I don't remember Ratchet being there at all, so... On the Voyager side of the Bumblebee movie, we have a Soundwave coming out, and if you don't remember Soundwave in the Bumblebee movie, that was a humanoid shape with a cassette door in its chest.
So is that going to be John Bailey's first Transformer toy?
That's a very good question.
No, he was Optimus. Never mind. He was Optimus in one of those Netflix series, or the Go 90 series, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so never mind. But this is the first one that anybody would want because it's from Bumblebee.
I guess. Yeah, because so the Machinima series, I don't think the Optimus in that was specifically tied to a particular toy that was released at the time.
Was it not? I don't remember. I honestly tried to block those out.
No, I don't think so because the toys that were out at that time was the Power Mastery Optimus Prime, and then the G2 tanker truck Optimus Prime, and that's not the model that was used at any point for Optimus in that series or those three series.
So this is really the first. He was the voice of Soundwave from that. There wasn't somebody else doing it before him. So
wasn't he also Shockwave?
He was also Shockwave. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
So on the Studio Series 86 side, we have Deluxe Perceptor coming out, Voyager Junkyard, and Leader Class King Starscream. Now, King Starscream was something that was originally intended for a Voyager assortment. It got bumped and replaced with Bumblebee movie Thrust. Thrust in this case being a green jet because they based its colors on Armada Thrust, which is kind of interesting, but I still don't want the toy. So King Starscream is back in rotation here as a leader class. From what I've heard about this, it's an Earthrise Starscream that has been retooled in the shoulders and wings, and it has a cape and crown. Apparently, the retooling done has made the jet mode very strange, by which probably they mean a mess. Well, I assume the cape comes off, but probably the changes to the shoulders and wings are making the jet mode kind of weird. It's also rumored to come with a throne to bump up the mass to leader price point.
Not like a cardboard throne, but like an actual plastic throne.
You gotta wonder if it has a cape and is a throne for it to sit in. They've probably done something to the nose cone that folds over the back too.
Not necessarily.
I don't know. That thing sticks out pretty far.
But if it's a cape and a throne in one thing, I would not be surprised if the cape was an attempt at soft goods again, or as we saw with Studio Series Dark of the Moon Megatron soft fads.
But I mean, I think I could deal with a redone shoulders and wings because honestly, nobody's getting a King Starscream with coronation gear to put in jet mode.
This is true. I will for comedy.
It would be bad comedy.
A bad comedy, yeah.
Yes, this is not a coronation. This is bad comedy. I hope it's not going to, but I hope that it comes with the other Seeker face, the screaming one, that you can put on so you can have him also be posed with Galvatron killing him.
That would be great.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it could just come with that as the default face. It's available and wouldn't be totally out of sorts, I guess. But you know, these are the dreams I have.
And then I guess in the future, Selects figure will come with just a bag full of dust.
I would buy that.
A bag full of dust, but Starscream boots also, because those were left behind. And actually, in the season 3 episode where they went to the mausoleum, Starscream's tomb was just his legs, because that's all that was left of him. So Junkyard is supposed to be a retool of Wreck-Gar, which we're getting later this year. And then Perceptor will be something all new. Which, Headmaster gimmick aside, I have to say, like, I feel like it would be hard to improve on Titan's Return Perceptor. But that's a very good take on Perceptor already.
Yeah.
You know, we could be looking at, Chris, what we've talked about in the past with G2 Smokescreen and Energon Starscream. We could be looking at a lot of the conceptually the same from Titan's Return Perceptor to this, even though it's not exactly the same mold.
I mean, they could certainly reuse a lot of the engineering on it, but I don't even think they would need to really do that as like a corner cutting maneuver, because Titan's Return Perceptor's engineering is nothing complex at all.
Yeah.
Perceptor is among the simpler Transformer designs, like just straight up. I think like the most complexity they would have in it is just getting the improvised tank mode to sit right, and even that's not really any kind of an effort, I don't think. No, I mean, what I'm hoping for is just something that kind of matches the Titan's Return one, but does not have the Headmaster gimmick. I'd be pretty satisfied overall if it was basically just a rerun like that, yeah. Also, now we've replaced the Energon Starscream G2 Smokescreen comparison with Combiner Wars Silverbolt. Okay, because apparently now everything is Combiner Wars Silverbolt, including Teletran mainframe, even though that figure is very obviously like a deluxe in size and actually has nothing physically in common with Silverbolt besides that it has like 2 legs and 2 arms.
I mean, wait a minute. I thought Smokescreen and Starscream were already Combiner Wars Silverbolt, just retroactively.
Oh, okay, I see. That's where the confusion's coming in. Oh man, that Starscream Smokescreen debate, I'm never gonna forget that. Our fandom, man, just has gotten into some of the weirdest arguments out there. So the last bullet point we have here for this news desk. See, there was a lot of stuff that went on this past weekend. Project Jam, which is not to be confused with Jam Project, unfortunately. I wish it was a Jam Project crossover, because like it would probably come with a CD single, and I wouldn't mind them doing another like brand new Transformers song again. If you're not familiar with Jam Project by name, go listen to the Japanese opening for Transformers Animated. They sang it, and it's beautiful. Jam Project has never done a bad song.
The song, do not believe the visuals, because if I hadn't watched Animated in the US and watched the Japanese version based on the opening credits.
Well, Don muted himself halfway through that, but I think we can get where he was going with that. But Don, the same thing happened with the opening that was produced for the Japanese dub of Fox X-Men. What was that? Cry for the Moon or something?
With the vampires or something?
I mean, they produced a whole new opening visuals for that had like basically nothing to do with the show, just like how Animated's dub had an opening with visuals not related to the show at all. It's just how it goes, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have seen like a Black Arachnia RC kind of subplot with them fighting throughout the series, but
or perhaps just RC actually being a character in the show, or Ironhide, who was also featured heavily in the Japanese opening. So anyway, back to Project Jam rather than Jam Project, although anyone who's familiar with the band cannot blame us for wanting to talk about Jam Project given the chance. So this is another Transformers collaborative thing, and we don't have any clues about this because aside from one conclusion to leap to, this doesn't give any like immediate hint like say Project Park or Project Bat did. The speculation that's popular right now is that it would be a Space Jam tie-in, which I could see making sense with the new movie coming up. But one supposed insider has second-handedly indicated that this might be a blaster tied with an unspecified band, which is probably not Jam Project. Although, could be. This is listed with the same price point that Expanse had, so it's probably a liter-sized toy. And if it is a blaster, it makes me think that the Titan's Return mold could be a good jumping-off point for this because the base mode could easily be reinterpreted as like a concert stage. I'm not saying I necessarily want to have this happen, but I can kind of see like, how one step leads to the next and it sort of all falls together. I can't really say that I necessarily want a Space Jam Transformer either.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm, a few crossovers or collaboratives in now, and the only one still that I actually like is Gigawatt.
Mm-hmm.
What about Ectotron? I thought you liked Ectotron.
I think I like Ectotron just in terms of the idea of a transforming Ecto-1, but like I don't actually like it as a toy.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of selling mine. And
I'm just wondering if since the G1 blaster mold is in circulation recently, I'm just wondering if Linkin Park wanted one of those to go with their Soundwave.
See, now that's an interesting thought. Collaborative Linkin Park blaster. I mean, and that wouldn't necessarily even be the G1 blaster toy. They could do that with the Titan's Return one, have the concert stage mode and like little minifigures of the band.
Yeah.
So this is not something I'd expect to hear like official word on or more clues anytime soon because these collaborative projects tend to get like leaky references like this and then go quiet for sometimes months before we get any more details. So this is just kind of one to file to the side and wait and see what happens.
So Vindo is mentioning LeBron being in Space Jam, and the we have the LeBron Masterpiece toys maybe in Earthrise, Deco, similar.
Interesting concept, although I'm not sure if they would go like full on collaborative with that.
Yeah. I mean,
I also don't know if that's something that would be like repeated by Hasbro because that seemed to be like a specific thing that was being done, through licensing in Japan.
Yeah, but I mean, the same licensing agreement, they could basically arrive at this. I mean, because they have the agreement with Takara, LeBron might want that agreement in the U.S. so that his nephew or somebody else could buy the toy on on the toy shelves here. So
I think if LeBron wants his nephew or someone to have one of those toys,
not to have
LeBron could probably like arrange for
not to have it, but to be able to say to go to the store and buy it, say it be available domestically.
I guess I don't know that like it would be thought of the same way from the other side of this equation.
Yeah, who knows
necessarily. And I don't even know if Hasbro would be interested in actually taking this on for that purpose unless LeBron cut them a very large check.
It would be the other way around.
Yeah.
Right, in which case I'm back to I'm not sure Hasbro would even be interested in doing this.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, with the Earthrise Optimus, I would not be opposed to seeing some of the more esoteric redecos that MP10 got revisited. 7-Eleven Earthrise Optimus Prime totally would be an interesting thing for me.
I was watching at 7-Eleven recently on eBay. It went for less than I was expecting, but more than I wanted to spend.
Well, that's always the trick, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I mean, I'm interested in the blaster band crossover idea with this, just because like it immediately crystallizes in my mind how it might work. The Space Jam thing, the best suggestion I've seen anybody come up with is the alien spaceship from the first movie as the alternate mode, but like beyond that, there's no clear idea of like what toys engineering would be the basis, or how any like what character it would end up being when it is a robot or anything like that. Like it's just that's a lot more abstract right now. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. For whatever reason, none of the options that have been described so far entice me that much. So
Yeah, I kind of agree.
yeah, so who knows?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily mind the Blaster thing either, just because like I never got around to picking up Blaster or Soundwave in Titan's Return, and if it would be an interesting retool of that, it's a way to get at least like the core engineering in a kind of wacky application. Sorry, Don.
No, I just had a weird thought. They could take two airwaves and color them and put them back to back, and that'd be your basketball goal, your basketball court, and they transform into two different robots.
Okay. I could see that, I guess, sort of.
Or they could repaint HasLab Unicron as a basketball.
There you go.
Well, see, and that's the other thing we need to consider too. If it is a Space Jam crossover, this would probably finally be the first Transformers toy to officially come with the basketball that Kilby has been wanting with Optimus Prime toys forever.
No, they'll still leave it out.
Now imagine if the Space Jam Transformer turned into Optimus Prime and it came with the basketball finally.
Yeah, so fortunately we are going to get that though from Super 7. They love us enough to do it. So
yeah, it just depends what hits market first, I guess.
Okay, anything else?
No, that pretty much wraps up what we covered for the news from over the weekend. It was a lot, all at once.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all the news I think that we had. Nothing else really showed up this past week. Not that I can remember. Nothing worth talking about.
Yeah, the only other thing I can think of was the whole Alabama thing, which turned out to be nothing of consequence. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so I guess let's talk about what we got this week. Did anybody get anything? Matt?
Yes, thanks to the kindness of Headmaster Don. I got my Marvel Legends MODOK, and he is absolutely just fantastic. I adore him. He's really nice size too. He comes with an extra face. This one I think it just pulls straight off. You can swap out his face. He has a closed mouth too. Right now he's a big hollow figure, so right now his other face is inside his body to help balance the weight because he's pretty front heavy.
Ah.
Yeah. What with the tiny limbs hanging off the front, he tends to sink forward. So his other face is providing back support. And I managed to piece together my Mr. Hyde Build-A-Figure from the Shang-Chi wave. Dawn also helped me by sending me the last part I needed for that. And Mr. Hyde's like an important one. Like he is to me, the A list of the Masters of Evil. Like he was on the team that, destroyed Avengers Mansion in the Under Siege storyline.
So is the Shang-Chi wave, that's all movie stuff?
It's about half movie stuff. And what is it, Don? Like, are there 2 Iron Man toys in there?
There's the holographic Iron Man, the Civil Warrior. There is the Gamerverse.
The Gamerverse Civil Warrior.
Yeah, okay.
The Don's got the Iron Man there. He sent me the holographic Tony Stark head because he didn't want it. And 3 or 4 Shang-Chi movie wave toys.
What do you do with the movie stuff when you get it? You just toss it?
I mean, I only got one of them.
Okay.
And I don't know what I'm going to do with her because that was the only way I could get the torso. All the other parts came off eBay.
The only movie verse toy that I remember you wanting, or anybody really wanting, well, not anybody, that's a terrible thing to say, that you would want, was that Avengers Assemble Captain America from Endgame.
Yeah, the worthy Captain America. Yeah,
Worthy.
I have that. U.S. Agent tempted me, but they got his paint apps wrong, so I'm going to pass on that.
So What are you going to do with the holographic Tony Stark head, though?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Don just sent it to me.
Oh,
He asked
Yeah,
me
I
if I
mean,
wanted
you
it. I'm
know.
like, I don't, unless
maybe
you.
he sent it to you as a warning.
No. I mean, the only reason I bought this, I don't care why Tony Stark's a hologram. I really don't. This is just basically mostly Secret Wars red and gold
Yeah.
Iron Man. And it's classic red and gold shell head. So I kind of
And-
wanted him.
Well, and if it's Secret Wars, then too, shouldn't it be Rhodey in there instead of Tony?
Yes.
I didn't read the. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
It's Iron Man in armor I like, so I'm
Yeah,
happy.
Secret Wars or Avengers West Coast.
Yeah, so I've
it was
seen that.
Rhodey.
I've seen this whole wave in person because Walmart actually like supplied all their stores and street dated it, so the stuff was all out everywhere.
Mhm.
I didn't really like the paint finish on that Iron Man. It looked too like shiny and painted.
The Shang-Chi toys. The Shang-Chi toys look amazing though. Like the paint
Those do
detail
look
on those
really good.
are-
Yeah, I don't care about them at all, but they do look really good.
But the Mr. Hyde is basically just Joe Fix-It with some new parts. The coat is a different molded part, and the hands and the head. I'm not crazy about the bowler cap on there. I would have preferred the like wild mane of hair, but I mean the face sculpt is really good. He's got the jutting out jaw and the big bulgy bloodshot eyes. Like they did do a really good job on this. So Hasbro, if you're listening, you know my Masters of Evil are growing, but I do need a Goliath Build-A-Figure now because I have. It's been a while since I've read Under Siege, but I have the Wrecking Crew, I have Tiger Shark, I have Mr. Hyde now. I am one Goliath away from putting my Marvel Legends Hercules into a coma. I need Goliath.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
That's all I got this week.
Cool. Don?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay. Wow. Chris?
So I got my second rack tonight from Amazon because my $15 or $16 pre-order came in. I also ended up with another air razor because I decided like with the first one having like a stress crack along one of the wing hinges already, I thought I probably should get a spare. But I don't think I got anything like 100% new, which is partly why I'm not on video because I have nothing to show off. Next week, hopefully, I will have something interesting to show. But like for right now, I think I'm pretty much just like getting duplicates for expecting things to break. I ordered a second Jazz off of Amazon Warehouse Studio Series Jazz, just so I'd have a backup for when the roof disintegrates on the one I have open already. For instance, kind of hating that I'm getting into a habit of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have anything to talk about this week.
Cool. Rob?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. I was trying to send Wheeljack 64 Kingdom Inferno for his birthday, and I ultimately did succeed at that, but the first time I accidentally sent it to me instead of him. So
Whoops.
I have Inferno, and it's really nice. It does. It did not need any initial modifications the way Grapple did, and it is the same good mold and looks really nice. And there's just, because it is the same mold, there's not too much to say about it at the moment. But yeah, it's decent. And I also got Kingdom Ultra Magnus, who is equally, mold wise, a pretty known quantity, but it is just all the little things that I did not like about the Siege one are mostly dealt with, and that is nice. So I'm really happy to have them both. But in terms of like engineering or anything like that, they're not exactly a revelation, but they're just really nice, solid figures. And that's pretty much it.
Cool. John, did you get anything?
Yeah, I got a couple things just real quick, off topic, but one of them's quasi on topic. It's G.I. Joe. Like, hey, the sister brand of Transformers, sort of, the Forgotten Sister. So I got not one, not two, but 3 pre-orders successfully shipped from Walmart.com.
Oh.
So dreams do come true. I got the Wave 3 figures for the retro line, which is Duke, Cobra Commander, and Lady J. two of them arrived. All three of them arrived in separate boxes. So they caught whatever Pulse was suffering from, and two of them arrived in great condition, and Lady J arrived in, I would say, like C obliterated, if that's like a ranking, like C -20. But I don't keep them on card, so it's sort of fine. I would like to think that I had a card in decent condition, but it's fine. It's cool. I hope this line keeps going. It doesn't seem too promising. They don't really talk about it anymore. So, well, at least I can say I have a complete collection of it, however small it may be. So I'll dive into those this weekend. And then the other thing I got was from Limited Run Games today.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah, so I went in on their mini. They sold out the day of release. Yeah, for sure. I got their mini Astro City cabinet. So these are the kind of famous, if you Google them or you see any pictures of like Japanese arcades from the last 25 years. These are the sit-down cabinets that you can sit and play for, comfortably 12 hours straight if you live in Japan. It's kind of what you do in the arcades. Very famous, especially for like fighting games, as one of the real dominant genres. You would, again, sit down and just play and play and play. So they did a mini version of it. I haven't unboxed it yet. It's pretty sizable. So I'll have to take some measurements and stuff and talk about it next week.
I assumed it was about the same size as the Neo Geo cabinet. Or
it's definitely
the original, the small one. How big is
it? Either the packaging is more like generous or it's bigger. One of the two.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it comes with 37 games. Some real cool ones in there, actually. Golden Axe, Death Adder's Revenge, Shinobi. It's got Virtua Fighter, which is fun. Lots of stuff. Most of the games you can play without fluency in Japanese, of course. You can get by. But I'm really looking forward to opening that and getting into that.
Yeah, that sold out. I was going to pre-order that and did not get to. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I think that's it for this week.
Cool. So I got a few things. So first and foremost, my favorite thing is John had designed a new shirt and I ordered it immediately. Crap. I didn't fix the orientation on my screen, so it's reverse. But it's in the Ninja Turtles logo sort of design. It's a middle-aged mutant toy collector. And even my wife thinks it's an awesome shirt, so I love it. And it's
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot of great response online. So if you want to get that, you can get it at tfradio.net/shirt.
Sure. Support the show. Wear a cool shirt.
Yeah. So it's a weird week for stuff I got. Nothing too crazy. I've been interested, especially after not getting that Happy Meal box, just in general Happy Meal stuff. So I bought a complete set of the Armada Happy Meal figures that I missed out on when they first came out, sealed in the baggies. I have some of these, and I think most of them are loose, but now I got them all in a bag. So it was cheap. It was like $10. So, nothing crazy. But, so I didn't talk about this last week. I got the replacement this week. So I got my second Ultimate Expanse figure. Not that the toy is that great. The box is beautiful, but I did want to open it, and Target has it on clearance. But the thing I didn't talk about last week is I had ordered it, and it was stolen. I'm not certain why it got shipped.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I don't know why it got shipped to my old address, but it did. Because other stuff I've ordered from Target's been shipped to this address. So, but it got shipped to the old address. I went by and I found out that instead of somebody moving into my old house, they're actually, which is what people do at this point, they're buying it and they're renting it. So, and no one's actually rented it yet. They're showing it. So I went to what was my old porch and it wasn't there. So I contacted the rental company and they gave me a temporary code to get in. And the next day I went back and went in the house and just felt weird that it was my house and it was empty and it looked different because they've done some work inside and changed things around. But I saw the box there in the living room, and I picked it up, and somebody took the toy out. So I contacted the rental company, and they said, "Sorry, can't do a thing about it." And some people online told me I should check with Target. And I'm like, yeah, it did go to the wrong address. I didn't intentionally send it there, and I don't know why. I've tried to delete the address, and I just, told them, and they immediately refunded the cost. So went ahead and ordered that one. So, I'll open that one eventually. The box is a little more banged up than my original. So, I was telling Don about this last week. This will look pretty nice when it's displayed. I'll need to clean it up a little bit. I know that there are tricks to de-yellow certain types of plastic. I don't know about transparent plastic, but there is some yellowing on this. But it is it's like a display, store display, I guess, of a Disney Afternoon, Kellogg's toy promotion. So characters from Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, Gummy Bears, and Tailspin. And was Gummy Bears Disney Afternoon? I only watched it on a Saturday.
Yeah, it ended up there.
Okay.
For a while. So are those did you look up the promotion, Brian? Are those were those in the cereal boxes, or were they mail-aways, or what?
They come carded, so I'm assuming they were mail-aways. Mm-hmm. But I thought Don or somebody said that they thought they were actually in the cereal. It would take up a lot of volume in the box, the individual cards.
Yeah, no, I mean, they were cereal premiums, because I remember getting one out of a box of cereal.
Was it one or a set of 4?
I want to say it was one.
Okay,
but
that would make sense.
I may be misremembering.
Yeah, when I see on eBay, I see a couple of these, then several sets of 4. That's like a mixed assortment of the different cartoons.
They're displayed by theme or by show in your thing.
Here, yeah, each row is a show. Mm-hmm. It's mixed in the 4 packs. So pretty neat. Yeah, I don't really know anything about it. I saw it though, and I love all those shows. That will look great on my wall.
Oh yeah, the Gizmo Duck especially. I was a huge Gizmo Duck fan. I
was too. Yeah,
would doodle him all the time. So yeah, that looked really cool.
This is two more things. I think. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the video game stuff, though. I did go crazy with stuff on the Microsoft Store this week. Picked up an Xbox Series X. Worthy purchase, by the way, if you can get one. It's the Xbox All Access deal. It's awesome. That's the way to go. But I saw this on our buddy ViceGripsX, his Twitter. He got his on AliExpress. I got mine somewhere else. And I'm not really familiar. If Diecast was here, he could elaborate a little more on this. Maybe one of you guys can. It's a third party called Black Mamba. Does anybody do anything about them?
In abstract, yeah.
What can you tell me?
Mostly what I know them for is oversized knockoffs of both official and some other third-party stuff, and then sometimes the official stuff that they bootleg, they also do modifications on. They're well known for, if I remember right, like an oversized Nitro Zeus.
Yep,
it had a lot of changes.
I was familiar with that.
Yeah, so it's stuff in that vein.
Don, what?
Oh, there's some credibility to what's been said that they are Wajang or a subsequent branch of Wajang.
Okay, if that's the case, I know Wajang did some original stuff as well. So this is an original figure, so far as I can tell. It's actually a combiner. It's a 5-part Constructicon set, and it's missing Bone Crusher. It does not go for likeness or complexity. It is, these toys are very, the term I like to use is toyetic. These break down into cool little toys that your kids would like to play with. And Devastator combines into an incredibly solid, mostly unposable, decent likeness of Devastator. But it's sort of a chibi's not the right word. It's more simplified and just generally more. It looks like more like a generic toy line that you would find at a Big Lots or a Dollar General or something like that. But it's really neat. I really like it. And honestly, I think you can get on AliExpress for like $15, and it's worth that.
He looks like Devastator merged with Onslaught or something. I don't know. He's Combaticon-y in a way. He's stocky and thick.
Yeah,
he reminds me of a Combaticon.
Let me pull one of these arms off. Let's mix master. So it's just super simple. The let's see here. His the front of his legs pop open. The hand slides back inside. That sounds horrible. Now they say it out loud. There's no articulation in the legs. There's no articulation in the arms except for outward. But when you push his arms in, the head goes down. And it just makes like a cute little, cement mixer.
The
kind of like the.
Go ahead, Don.
Oh, kind of like the Crash and Combine.
Yes, that's I see that. Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, it reminds me a lot of like how a bot shot worked.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. Mattel would call that retro play. That's a feature.
Yeah, I get
Right.
that. Yeah, I like that.
The sword it has also looked like it might be a bootleg of the sword from Power of the Prime's Nemesis Prime, that one that turns into a bird thing.
Ah, it does have a chicken head. Wasn't even thinking about that. Let's see here.
I mean, that one may not actually have the parts to transform. I don't know, but it
No.
certainly looks like that design.
Okay, so it does look like it does. Okay, so
Yeah.
I don't want to break it. No, it looks like I don't care if I break it. There's a pin there, so there's definitely a joint. Oh, that right there.
Yeah.
Makes
And
a
I
little
think the blade might swivel so the wings are level then.
there you go.
Yeah. So they did bootleg at least one part of that from something else.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. But yeah, for the price, you can't beat it. I like it. It's a toy you could hand to your kid, and honestly, they're not going to break. So, it's pretty cool.
You gonna test that
No.
for us?
Well, Kim. So I think I mentioned this before. Kim loves shopping at a couple little boutique stores that are in the area, and they get a lot of their stock from AliExpress, and they'll charge $35 for a shirt that they get from AliExpress for $5. So she's placing a big order from AliExpress. If she gets me one of these for $10, the kids will each get one of them. Last thing I got, it's incomplete, but it's a vintage G1 Sound Blaster. We were talking about it recently, and I'd forgotten that it comes with a slightly retooled buzzsaw.
Is it even retooled? Buzzsaw?
It's, I think it has some additional lines or something in it, or maybe there's maybe not, but there's definitely a difference in stickers. That may be what I was trying to say. So if you remember in Headmasters, they have to rebuild Sound Blaster from old parts. They add some new parts to create new sound wave. It has the stickers on it. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
It's got the little sound wave sticker on it. So.
Oh, that's Fortress Maximus, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shoot, you're right.
So Yeah, so Sound Blaster has the Buzzsaw with the Fortress Maximus sticker, and then Twincast comes with one of his cassettes. I don't remember which one, but it has a Scorponok sticker. And the idea is it's the power plants for each of them that shows their like secret weakness.
Yeah, no, that is definitely totally Fortress Maximus. Okay. Well, what do I know?
And that was slightly reflected in a plot point in Headmasters, the TV show, where they're trying to find Scorponok's weak point.
Gosh, I just rewatched the episode where they rebuilt him, and I could have sworn that's just where my brain immediately went. Okay. But yeah, so
that's why I'm here.
Yeah, thank you. This is but it's missing like the battery pieces, so like the gun and everything. But I just wanted another version of this mold so I can beat Ant and have more versions of the Soundwave mold. I have the Encore version, which was that the one that came with Wing Thing and Enemy? Enemy, yeah. So yeah, so this one's slightly different. I mean, otherwise it's pretty much the same toy. I haven't pulled that out and looked at it in years, but I don't really see any differences. It's a little beat up, but it's fine. It's in better shape than my I don't have a childhood Soundwave, but the Soundwave that I've had for like 25 years. So, it's not bad. So, yeah, I got that. I shipped my loot, or I'm trying to ship my loot. I hit ship on my loot today. So I have a pretty big item coming on that I've been waiting on for months. So maybe I'll be talking about it next week. More likely, probably last week. So, or the week after that, I mean. So
I was gonna be impressed if you somehow found a way to talk about it last week.
Yeah. Not enough caffeine. Let me fix that real quick. Hold on. Carry on.
But it's your segment.
Sorry. But one thing I mentioned the medication that the doctor put me on. Another thing he said, he's like, I need to cut soda out completely. And I'm like,
no.
About that, I can't do that. But I have cut back my intake of caffeine and soda by 50%, replaced it with water.
You're only taking in the amount of caffeine that like three normal adults do.
Yeah. So, is this my first energy? This is my second energy drink for the whole day.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
At almost 10 o'clock.
I can't believe you're conscious.
I know. So, but I'm working through it. Thing is though, last night I slept so well.
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised.
It was amazing.
It's fine. Once your body adjusts to the lower caffeine level, you'll be back to your crappy sleep quality again.
I woke up so refreshed this morning. Like, for whatever reason, I say I slept well. I literally woke up like 10 times. But when I woke up this morning, I just felt refreshed. And it was amazing. It's like, this is what it's supposed to feel like. So
Chris is right, though. It won't last. Take it from me.
Yeah.
I've tried several times.
I mean, I have given up caffeine on at least 3 occasions. It's been years. And it sucked, but I don't remember what it was like.
But it's awesome for a while when you start drinking it again.
Yes. Oh, I remember the first time I gave it up, it was for 6 months. And like I could get jacked by drinking like a Diet Coke. And it was awesome. It's like I would have to pop 3 stackers or something to get that, before. Okay. So again, tfradio.net/shirt. That would be wonderful. And of course, I want to thank our patrons at the Touch tier, patreon.com/tfradio. We thank our patrons at this tier each week. If you want to get your name on the show, just let us just go and sign up. You can also be on our History on the Fives podcast. That's a patron exclusive podcast. But if you're a Touched patron, you can be on that show when we record each week. Man, it'd be awesome if all of our patrons were Touched patrons and everybody was on that show. And then we were just talking to each other and people wouldn't even have to download it because they would be there.
Yeah, wow. I think if everybody was a Touched patron, you'd have to rethink how this perk works.
Yeah, so thanks to Kevin Dorsey, Ryan Bona, Cheesy Patty, Emmett Stresovich, Rabbits, Hector Bones, Jonathan James, Nathan Sampy, Ness, Joey Russell, Jason Hiley, Mike Mallory, Jason W. Rye, Sean Hamilton, Jacob Owen Lucia, Sean Bratton, Spider Bob, Mighty Orbots, Nataku 117, and Black and White Now in Color. Thank you all so much. You're awesome. We appreciate you. Let's see here. I guess this one we talk about how to find us. Diecast isn't here, but he's on Twitter at Diecast2, and you can find his reviews on YouTube at tfradio.net/reviews. And he's also on Facebook under Reviews by Diecast. Rob Springer, Permanent Hiatus. Pour one out. He's still alive, but he's discontinued his podcast. But you can find him at zonebase.org and on Twitter at RoboRobSpringer. He's got his own podcast now. It's like the Zone Base.
Okay, so he is still doing a podcast. The way you said that made it sound like he had suspended all podcast activities.
No. It's just not like Transformers only. It's like everything Rob loves. I
don't think you can contain Rob to a
he can't be contained
topic. Yeah, it's just too constraining for him. He would explode.
Yeah. So he's at RoboRobSpringer on Twitter and at zonebase.org. I'm on Twitter at bkilby and on Instagram at Brian Kilby, and you can find other stuff that I do at briankilby.com. Chris, how do people get a hold of you?
I'm on Twitter at ChrisRTXV. I think I tweeted some Star Trek stuff in the last week or two, probably. I vaguely remember doing that. I just can't remember what it might have been. What do I have on? Oh, yeah. I tweeted from season 4 of Next Generation, there's the episode Suddenly Human, where they find the human teenager among the alien crew because he got taken and adopted by an alien captain years before. And there's a line when Picard's talking to Troy because she wants him to bond with this teenager. And we know how Picard is with kids. And so he calls her into his ready room and gives this really practiced reasoning for why he can't. And she calls him on it by saying, "Rarely have I ever heard an explanation so well rehearsed." And I posted screenshots of that because I was watching that episode and I've always loved that exchange.
I don't remember that episode. Interesting.
It's a pretty good episode. It's like the 3rd or 4th episode of season 4.
Interesting.
In syndication, it was often aired out of order. So you would go from Best of Both Worlds Part 2 to Brothers, and then you would get Family, which is the actual 2nd episode of the season, has the Enterprise at McKinley Station on Earth. And then you would get this episode. So it was a mess, the airing order originally. But like the DVD sets and Amazon Video and all that have it in the right order. So you'd get this as, I think, episode 3 then, and Brothers is episode 4. So it was all messed up in syndication. But what else is new? For more insights like that, follow me on Twitter at ChrisRTXV, where it's spread out over a bunch of tweets instead of taking up 5 minutes at the end of the podcast. For my photography work, that's on social media on Instagram at instagram.com/playwithphotography or at playwithphotos on Twitter. All of my gallery work and things like that are collected at playwithphotography.com. I've also got articles and things like that there too. And if you like the photography stuff I'm doing and want to show some support and help me keep doing this kind of work, you can do so at Patreon, on Patreon at patreon.com/playwithphotos for as little as $2 per month.
Cool. Donald.
Also, go get vaccinated. I did while I was not here last week, and everybody should.
Get vaccinated!
I get my second shot tomorrow.
Yeah, I actually I saw on Twitter today that CVS across the country is doing walk-in vaccinations now, everywhere.
Vaccination.
So there's no excuse.
There's no excuse. Vaccination is not political in the sense that everything is political only. There's nothing. Get vaccinated. I love my brother. He had COVID. I had COVID. He was hospitalized with it. But for whatever reason, he has got it in his thick skull that, there's risk for the vaccine. I mean, there's risk breathing. You're going to be fine. You're safer. You're much safer taking the vaccine. Take the damn vaccine. Get it.
We're never going to get back to normal if you don't get vaccinated.
Exactly. If you had it, that's not enough. I had it. Get vaccinated.
And realistically, just to possibly skirt the political, if you think getting the vaccine is political, this is a sign you need better sources of news in your life.
There you go.
Please.
Yes. Cool. Don.
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.
Cool. Rob.
And yes, my parents got their first shots today, so I'm freaking thrilled.
Awesome.
But yeah, I can be found on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Rob Flails. Rob Flails is the Twitter for Flail Throughs, my YouTube channel. Right now, I'm still covering Gundam Battle Operation 2, which is a free-to-play Gundam team shooter. This week, they added the Z2, which is a bizarre Zeta Gundam variation, sort of. And it's fun to use. Put a couple of videos up with that this week already. So if you want to check that out at youtube.com/flailthroughs, it's there. If you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs is where you can throw money at me for it. And of course, there is tfradio.net/claylist. Old memory files, pardon me, where you can just get me stuff from Amazon if that's something that for some reason you would want to do.
Cool. Don's wish list at tfradio.net/massy attack.
And mine's at
Yeah,
tfradio.net/chrysalis. I forgot about that.
Diecast is at tfradio.net/diecast list. In fact, I'm going to add something stupid to Diecast list right now. John, tell us how people get a hold of you.
That John D everywhere. What are you going to add, Brian?
I don't know yet.
No, okay.
Yeah, John, you need to draw that out a little bit more to give Kilby time to actually do that.
Hey,
I knew what I was doing.
What should I put on Diecast's wish list while he's not here?
Can we say on the stream?
Yeah, say it. Like just nothing nothing horrible.
Oh,
Well, what's
dang.
the point?
Then I pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chaps.
A box of Miracle Whip packets.
Serious question. Is there a thing in Transformers that he doesn't like?
I don't know.
Cetons.
Well, that's a little bit hard to put on the wish list, isn't it?
I put assless chaps on his wish list.
I think that'll do.
Yeah. Cool.
Just
I'm
as
gonna-
long as he doesn't try to, wear them on stream one week.
Or at a convention ever.
Yep.
Well,
Cool.
I mean, that would run afoul of, decency codes. Like, we don't really have that as such on the podcast. Like, he could still pop up and surprise us before we got rid of him.
And I sort of saying a case of Morton salt. Okay, I'll add that too.
Iodized or uniodized? That's important.
Whichever costs more. Oh wow. Let's sort by price. Cool. Okay. Anything else?
I mean, nothing really comes to mind.
Oh, essential oils. Put essential oils on diecast list.
Oh, yeah, that's a callback.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I got Netflix Cheetor from Hasbro Pulse this week. Shows how much I actually cared about it.
Cool. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Take care, all.
Bye.
Yeah, Carl, I buy Morton sea salt for use in my kitchen, actually.
Okay, maybe he'll take me off this list now that I've added the stuff to it.
No, I don't think he will.
No.
It's diecast. He'll just laugh and either leave the stuff on there because he thinks it's funny now, or he'll take it off and just forget this ever happened. He's diecast.
Yeah. I'll add
He's
that.
diecast. He doesn't take anything seriously.
That's true. Okay, I'm done. I just got a text. I wonder if it's him. No, it's not him. Okay.
Okay.
He sent me a text a couple hours ago. Let me know he wouldn't be on, and I thought that might be.
Yeah, he's probably asleep at this point.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, people watching live, I think we're going to drop. We'll see you next week. You're awesome.
Bye, everybody.
by YouTube.